want to be participants in all that God is going to do with our lives. And we are asking you to join us, to be part of that support team that makes it possible for us to spend that time sharing the gospel with people, discipling others, and making the glory of Christ known in West Covina and beyond.
When I met David, we had that first conversation. He laid out his life's plan, and I thought I could do that with that guy. We could serve Christ together. We can support one another in the ways God's gifted us to preach the gospel.
When I look in the scriptures and I see that Jesus says, pray that God would send forth laborers into the harvest because the fields are white for harvest. I want to go. Pick me.
We go home. We keep on walking 'cause we get along, yeah. Until we find a place where we belong. We keep on dancing 'cause we're not alone, no.
David has made a choice, and his choice is, I am going to follow what God has told me to do. And he's not doing it in any 30, 40, 50% manner. He's decided to do it 100%.
I had heard sermons so many times before, over and over again, and yet when David was preaching up there, I just felt the power of God just fall right on me through David's preaching. And it was just so real, and that's when I knew God began to draw me to him.
Paul in Philippians says that he counted everything he'd ever gained as trash compared to knowing Christ his Lord. And I've come to know that true about myself. I want to share that with other people, and it's so worth living meagerly, living with not a lot, so that people can know the one thing that's actually worth anything, which is Christ.
It's been great having David as an elder, and to have him come on full-time would be just a huge asset. So if you're thinking of why should I invest in a guy that's a stranger even, I've just seen God use David in unexpected and unusual ways for someone his age. To invest in him at this stage he's at, will bear many, many returns for the kingdom. And I really believe that.
The gospel is precious to me because, first of all, I need it. I am still a sinner. I'm not Superman. I personally cherish the fact that I can confess my sins to God, and He's faithful and just to forgive my sins and to cleanse me from all unrighteousness.
David has a tender heart. He has a passion for Jesus. He loves our church, and God has used him in so many ways, not just to touch our hearts, but more so what's impacted us is our daughter, who has been able to come home and actually talk about what she was hearing through David's preaching.
What do we need? So we have looked at our budget very carefully, and we believe that we can be just fine if we get about $42,000 of support for the next year, for 12 months after we launch. To some of you, you're thinking, $42,000, that's so much money. And then there's other people, maybe those who live in Southern California, that are going, how in the world are you going to make it on $42,000? So we are going to be asking family and friends. We're going to be pooling and doing as much as we can within our local network. I don't think that's going to cut it. So we're reaching out beyond that. We need people's prayer, but we also need people to give.
David needs to be full-time. He needs to have more time to spend and disciple people. I mean, right now, he works. He's not able to sit down and disciple people like he discipled me. He helped our marriage, and God used him to strengthen our marriage. And we still have struggles, but our whole lives have been just completely transformed. Yeah. There was a lot of times when I was having a lot of problems, and David was out there in the backyard, and he listened to me and would say that it's not about my needs, and that I need to be a godly husband, and he was just there. He was there for me.
If you are listening to this and you're considering whether or not to give, to support, to pray for us, I would just encourage you to consider the impact that you could make through even a small donation, even committing to pray for us. You have the power to join us in our beautiful mission to see people transformed as they embrace the gospel. And so we need help for that. We need your help. We need your support. And it's humbling for me. You know, I'm a man. I want to provide for my family. I want to do it all by myself. And I've been trying to do that, and I'm just coming to a point where, in order to be effective at what I believe God has called me to do, I need outside support.